Hi friends, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a new viewer, big welcome to you. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here for another episode. Got a lot of exciting things to talk about today. Definitely some works in progress, but a super fun sale coming up here. So bear with my lighting as always. It is as dark as can be right now, and it's only 6:25 p.m. here Eastern time. So yes, this is what we're going to be dealing with now going on, unless I can somehow record on a Friday. But I try really to do that on a Thursday, because that way you guys get to see the video on Friday, which works great for sales and stuff. So speaking of which, well, maybe I'll talk about what I'm wearing really fast. This is not a pattern that I knit. This is a beautiful wool sweater. This is actually not a color I normally wear. That's what's kind of fun. So this is actually a gift from my mother, and she found it at a thrift store, and look how beautiful it is. It has this wonderful cabling, I think, or not cabling, it's just the stitch work. I think it's worsted weight, but it's very lightweight, so it's like probably a woolen spun. She found it at our local thrift store, and I absolutely love it. I really like the color. It's not normally a color I would gravitate towards. It's not a color that's one of my strong colors. Usually the deep, like jewel tones and stuff are my colors. But I don't think it looks bad, and it's extremely comfortable, and it breathes really nicely because of course it's all wool. And I wear it no matter what. Like I wore it today. It was about 60 degrees when I got home, which might be a little warm for a sweater, but it's still cool and very windy out right now. And so I wore this, and it breathes nicely. I have a little t-shirt underneath it, and it was just wonderful. It's not itchy. Yeah, I quite enjoy it. But it is a knit where, like, if I wanted to, which I'm not going to, but if I wanted to, I could take it apart. It actually is the kind where you could deconstruct it if you wanted to. But I think it was made overseas. Like in a mill or something, so it's not even like I don't think it's like a hand knit, even though it looks like it is. I have no idea, but it's very comfortable and I love it. It was a wonderful gift, and I'm so grateful that she gave it to me. So that is a super fun little gift that I got, and I've been wearing a lot. So now we'll get into the shop update. So shop update, very exciting. So the holidays are around the corner. My goodness, Thanksgiving in the United States is next week. So I hope you guys are going to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I don't know if you have any plans. I'd love to hear what your plans are, or if you have any family traditions for Thanksgiving, please do share below. We have family traditions, and I will discuss that in the life update and things, but yeah. So I'll try to remember. You know what? I'm going to write it down, because I tell you guys this in the beginning of videos, and then I always forget. So Thanksgiving. Okay. All right. So Thanksgiving and the holidays usually brings sales. So after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. So I am doing a sale. I try to do that every year, but I don't know if I did last year or not. But this year I am doing one again. So it is a wonderful sale. It's 15% off your entire in-stock yarn order. So any in-stock yarn that's in the shop, this will be starting, let's see here, I wrote down the dates because my memory sometimes not so great, but 12 a.m. on November 24th, it's Friday. So the Friday following Thanksgiving, starting at 12 a.m., you can get the 15% off by using the code HOLIDAY 2023. I definitely include that down below in the notes section. If you are a newsletter subscriber, you already know about the sale. I always share these sales with newsletter subscribers first. So if you are a newsletter subscriber, you already know, and I bet you're trying to like figure out what you want to get. So if you're not a newsletter subscriber, make sure you subscribe. If you go over to multifariousnature.com, it pops up when you first go on there, and just click subscribe. And if that doesn't work, definitely reach out to me in the contact me section, and I'd be more than happy to add you as a subscriber, because I want you guys to be subscribed if that's what you'd like to do. All right, so that is very exciting, and that's all in stock yarn. All yarn. So I am actually allowing that discount on my in-stock advents. So I do have, I think it's just 1 or 2 of the past 2 years of advents still in the shop. So if you missed out on grabbing one of those and you want to have one, you can get it. And if you decide to wait, which you can, but if they're still in the shop, like that's the key. But if they are still in the shop and it's the 24th of November and you use the code Holiday 2023, you can get 15% off of that advent. And that includes this year's advent as well. So very exciting. Now there's only one of those left. So if if you miss out, I'm sorry, but I do want to let you know that you can use that on advents, which is very exciting. I know not every store does that, but I like to do that. It's a little extra special thank you to you guys. I know it's a lot of work to put the advents together, but I would love to still offer you that discount so that you can enjoy that fun savings. So, and it ends, this is important, it ends the 30th of November at midnight. So if you go, you have basically a week. So Friday to basically the following Friday morning is when the sale is going on. So make sure you don't miss out on that, because if it's Friday at 1 a.m., then you will no longer be able to use the code. It expires Thursday, 30th at midnight. So I want to make sure you guys knew that. So there you go. Very exciting holiday shopping. I'm trying to control myself this holiday season, but I don't know. You know, we all try to do our best. I'm trying to do more like stash diving myself, because I have, this is my shop yarn, but I have quite a nice little stash of yarn that I need to work through, and fiber, so I need to behave myself. We'll see. All right. Let's get into the works in progress, shall we? So you guys, I worked on all kinds of good stuff this week, and yes, that was very good. Very needed. I've had a on and off rough week. I don't want to hide it from you guys. I do try to be a place that's positive, that you guys enjoy coming to, and I do really try to do that. But this week was a hard week for me. Getting closer to the holiday season is not an easy time. It is hard for me every year. Those of you that know me really well, you know that I have lost family members that are very close to me, and that makes it quite difficult every year. That alone, but then we have also dealt with our own losses while trying to grow our family, and so that makes it that much harder. If you have experienced all of that, I'm sorry, and I know how it goes. This time of year can be quite difficult when it comes to those type of losses. So just know you are not alone, and I am here for you. If you ever want to talk, I am always here for you. So just wanted to give you guys that heads up, but I did get some knitting done. I am happy I did get some knitting. Not tons, but I did work on a lot of different projects. So there, wide variety, not a lot of knitting. But first and foremost, we will get into the half and half triangles wrap, which I have enjoyed quite a bit this week because, as I said, I had a hard week, and this is so relaxing. And this is my go-to in the morning, and I actually today brought it as my lunchtime knitting. I normally work on a different project on my lunch break, but I worked on this one on my lunch break this week. So, yeah. All right, which I should say today, because I really needed it. So here we go. I am on my second triangle. So this is my Kismet colorway, which is a beautiful speckled tonal yarn. I guess it's technically kind of variegated, but it's more of a tonal. It reads more of a tonal. It's peach, and it's got kind of peach and very, very light. I don't know. Yeah, it's peach. It's peach and salmon speckles. And then there's some brown speckles and some lilac speckles. And it's just very nicely spread out. I did not alternate the skeins. I know you're going to be looking at this all weird because I'm mid-row, but I did not alternate them at all. The coloring is a little off on this, but that's just because of the nature of this lighting. Sorry. The reason I did the video is because I try to do like better have better lighting, but it's a little tricky when you have not natural light. And then this is Strawberry Shortcake, which is another Multifarious Nature colorway. So, love it. Which I currently do not have dyed up in the shop, but my goal tomorrow, so tomorrow is Friday the 17th, my goal is to do some dyeing. So, because I want to get some more colorways stacked up in the shop, so that way when you guys do your shopping, you'll be able to pick some up. So this is one of the colorways I kind of would like to restock in the shop a little bit, because Strawberry Shortcake is such a fun color. It's just such a happy color. It's such a happy color. So I have really been enjoying working on it. It is a tonal. It's a beautiful pink, very vibrant. I don't know if you can tell. It's a very vibrant pink. It's a warm pink, and it's just so fun. And I feel like it would complement many skin tones, and yeah, I think it's a fun color. So that is Strawberry Shortcake, and I have my little Hello Lavender Progress Keeper. All right, so I'm getting there. I am getting through it, enjoying it. I am not in a rush. It's funny. I thought for sure I'd be bored out of my mind with this pattern. I'm not. I am absolutely enjoying it, and I feel like the Half and Half Triangles wrap this time of year is a great pattern. It's a free pattern by Purl Soho, so if you're looking for a relaxing knit that is wonderful garter stitch, so you're just knitting back and forth and doing this, I'm doing like German short row style. There's tutorials. I think it's Edible Thoughts Makes. She has a YouTube channel. If you look that YouTube channel up, I will try to list it below, but if I forget, I'm sorry. But definitely reach out to me in the comments if I forget and you want it. I'll send you the link. But I highly recommend her tutorial on how to do the German short row version of this. I love it. German short rows are so intuitive, and it just makes it super easy and very enjoyable. So, Half and Half Triangles Wrap by Purl Soho. Love it. And again, this is the Kismet colorway and Strawberry Shortcake. I do currently have some Kismet in the shop that if you want to snatch some of that up. Okay, next pattern that I worked on quite a bit is my Birch Pullover by Andrea Mowry using Old Mill yarn. I naturally forgot to move my Progress Keeper. I'm trying to get better about it, you guys, but I did fail on that. So, I was not here last week. I was on the sleeve just a little bit down here, I think. So I did quite a bit of knitting on it. So quite a few of the decreases. This is a half fisherman's rib sweater. It looks teeny tiny, but I think it's going to fit nicely. It is going to grow a little bit. It is 100% merino, non-superwash. So I know this is going to grow, but not as much as superwash. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm enjoying it. It's really rhythmic. So after Sherman's Rib, it's like basically a 2-row repeat, and it's really easy to memorize. And I got through the body relatively quickly. I don't know. I thought it would take me a lot longer. It's so strange, but it's because of the way it is and how rhythmic it is. I went through it relatively quickly. I've been working on this probably for a while. I did make some boo-boos and have to go back and fix it because basically you've got this ribbing, so if you make a mistake, it's quite visible, very obvious that you made a mistake. But yeah, I'm using this really pretty warm gray color. And yeah, it's very stretchy, as you can see. And because it's this, like, basically it's a tuck stitch, you can see how stretchy that is. So I did it where it's going to have, like, barely any ease. Like, it's probably going to fit just right. A little loose, but not, like, not really super loose. I don't know. It's not going to have a lot of ease. I made it so that it would be slightly on the less big and baggy side. Like, this is a very positive ease sweater, and I do like a little positive ease in my sweaters. It's just super comfortable. I find it traps air nicely too. I don't really like a lot of negative ease sweaters, but I do have, I think, at least one semi-negative ease sweater that I do really like because it's a color work, so it's very warm because it has all this color work on the top. But yeah, very much enjoying this. It's got a little ribbing on the bottom, and so I'm doing this one sleeve. I am almost done with the decreases, and then I think you have to do a little bit more knitting, and then you bind off, or then you do the ribbing, and then I'll do the next sleeve. So I'm just getting through it relatively quickly. I'm just absolutely enjoying it. I think at this point I tend to get kind of impatient with sweaters usually, because I'm kind of like, all right, I just want to wear it, but I don't feel that way about this one. It's kind of bizarre. I think with everything kind of going on in my life right now, I'm really enjoying the process of things, and I don't really want them to end, which is kind of odd. I don't mind it. It's just different than I'm used to. I think by this point, usually I'm kind of like, all right, I just want to get it done so I can wear it. And I don't feel that way right now. It just is okay. It's refreshing, but there you have it. Yeah, and that's old mill yarn, if I didn't mention that before. Okay, and the next one I worked on is my Wildflower path. Let's see if I can not break this. Oh, I did already. So I used, it's Nutiden and, oh dear, there we go. Nutiden is very fragile, especially this one. This is Vagen Hem is the colorway, and I am using old mill yarn held double. Both are held double, so there's 4 strands going on here. One is basically a, like, not even a lace weight, it's a cobweb weight, the old mill yarn that I'm holding double. It's this dark brown color here. You can see that. And then I've got the Vagen Hem here, which is this kind of oatmeal color. It's quite beautiful. Nutiden is stunning. I highly recommend trying to get Nutiden if you can. And I'm so sorry. Last week I said that her sale was going to be the following week. It was actually that Friday. So sorry about that. But yeah, I was trying not to pay too much attention because I didn't want to buy more of her yarn. Because I want to buy more of her yarn, but I don't want to buy because it's expensive right now, and it's not in the budget for me to buy it, so I need to behave myself, so I try to ignore it a little bit. But it's looking quite beautiful. It adds this wonderful marbled effect, and as you can see, it really adds this dimension of depth to the texture in this yoke. This is that Wildflower path pattern by Melody Hoffman. This is definitely a positive ease sweater, but not massively oversized. It's a great amount of positive ease. Just realized I've got a little bit of a vitamin matter there. So there you go. It's so wonderful. I made one more of these. My first one was made out of plutalope, and it is so comfortable, warm, and durable, and I love it. So I'm very much looking forward to wearing this one as well, because I think this is going to be another beloved sweater that I'm going to wear over and over and over again. And again, not in a hurry. I literally only knit on this a little bit, I think last night. That was it. So I pretty much just got a couple rows done. But I think last time we spoke, I still had not split for the sleeves. I think that's right. If it's not, then I'm telling tall tales. But I kid you not, you guys, I've only knit like a couple rows, but I now have sleeves. So there you have it. I have sleeves, and now I'm knitting down the body. Oh, by sleeves, I mean I split for the sleeves. And I'm knitting down the body. It will have long sleeves, and then it'll have wonderful ribbing. So stinking soft, this Nutiden. So stinking soft. Each Nutiden is a little different. It's Swedish wool, but she uses different blends of wool together, so they all kind of feel a little different. And she talks about like what is in them. And then there's always differences to how much lanolin and things like that nature. But of course, the less dye that's been added, like this is a natural color, the more lanolin is usually in it, kind of. But again, it has to do with the breed of the wool. Like I have the Lucra colorway, which is a dark brown with some yellows in it. Really interesting. That one is a heavy lanolin, which I absolutely love. Absolutely love. So I'm looking forward to knitting with that at some point, but I'm just really enjoying taking my time on these because Nutiden is a treat. So I know I can't have it all the time. So once it's gone, it'll be gone for a while. I'd love to hear what you guys are working on. Please comment below and let me know. I'm sipping on some wonderful orange spice tea. Oh, so good. All right. Last but certainly not least of my works in progress is the Stalker hat. I talked about this a while back because I got some beautiful Angora from my husband's great aunt. Pretty sure she is his great aunt. And it's 100% pure Angora Leeward's Elgin. I don't know if that's the brand or not. It's 100% pure rabbit hair Angora. And I have about 50 grams. It is the fluffiest sheds. But it's absolutely wonderful. So I just started knitting on this the other day, so I don't drop my stitches because it's so stinking silky soft. It's just gonna slide right off the needle. This halo just like makes this absolutely blinding. But I can see why people like halos of like mohair and such, because it's forgiving. Like if I made a mistake, you wouldn't even know it because this halo is intense. I mean, this is blinding because it's so beautifully white, but look at that halo. Isn't that wild? Like, that's a serious halo. So I am just enjoying knitting with this so much. So I'm working on the brim of the Stalker hat right now, and I am sorry, you guys. This, come to find out, I'm pretty positive this pattern is no longer available on Ravelry. I did not look like on the big web, World Wide Web. I did not search. So I'll still list the pattern down in my notes section of the video. But if you want to Google it, then by all means, please do. I hope it's out there somewhere because it just seems to be a shame if it's not. So it's called the Knit Stalker Hat, and it's designed by Susie Bonell. And I'll show you the picture. Ooh, there we go. It's like it's getting so blinded. But there it is. It is so stinking cute. I made this with a brown wool and I wore it all the time. I still have it. It's still in great shape. But I just absolutely love it. I'm going to show you another shot of it. She's got a couple of photos here, but there's another image of it. Isn't it so cute? So it's got this little brim and it's not super tight fitting, so it won't like smash the daylights out of your hair. I mean, if your hair is poofy like mine, it will smash it a little bit, but it's just looser fitting and it's really comfy and so stinking warm. And it has this really cute top to it and details. It's adorable. So it's one of my favorite hats I've ever made. I've worn the daylights out of it and it still looks great because it's wool and wool is very durable. And it's on my head, not like a sweater. But I really wanted to make this little knit stalker hat out of this beautiful Angora as kind of a fun, fancier one, because that other one is more durable, like for hiking, and definitely more geared towards my everyday wear, where I feel like this would be nicer, so a little dressier, and that way I'd have a cute little dressy hat that I can wear during the holiday season and what have you. And it's beautiful white because it's a beautiful cream color. I hope I have enough. There is the chance I might be playing yarn chicken here, you guys. I'm not even kidding. But I'm just gonna do it. I'm just going for it because I think it would make a beautiful, beautiful cozy hat, and it's just, oh my gosh, it is so stinking soft and fluffy and warm, and I know that this would make me so warm, especially in the super super cold winter days here that we get once in a while. We get pretty chilly here, so I will very much enjoy wearing this. So I started doing that, and I don't know the brand of these knitting needles, but I do really like them. They have this bend in them, and that makes them so much more, because they're not removable, or not interchangeable. It's actually like really comfortable to work with. So I was grateful for those. Those were a gift from my mother-in-law, so very grateful for those. Okay, so life update. I kind of want to talk about 2 free patterns first before I get into the life update end of things. So I always like to share free patterns when I find them because I love it. They're a deal. I love a deal. It's that time of year when we're spending a lot of money usually, so why not find some fun patterns that are free, right? Everybody loves them. So 2 patterns in particular that I want to talk about. I don't know when I'm going to knit them, but but I'm adding them to my collection of wanting to knits. So I have an insanely large collection of wants to knits. But this is by Purl Soho. So Purl Soho, and it is actually using lace weight yarn, and it's called the Eyelet Cowl. There's 2 sizes. There's a small size and a large size. The small size is a single cowl. The large size, you can double it. And it's the Eyelet Cowl, and I think I at least printed 1 photo. I deleted a lot of photos because it used quite a bit. So here's a photo of the 2 different sizes. So you've got the single size and then the large size. And it's this beautiful, delicate little eyelet that's going on here. And it's fun because you put a pop of color. So they design it this way. You can use any colors, but they design it with like more of a neutral and then a fun pop of color on the inside. You do you know. They use their yarn, of course. And here is, there's a great photo on this lady here, and she looks stunning in it. And you can see that wonderful pop of color. And the really pretty eyelet. So I would love to make one of these. I do have a lot of lace weight yarn because I do like lace weight yarn. It's great for adding to things like holding double, but it's also great for patterns. And I haven't made a lot of patterns with lace weight yarn, and this is a pattern specifically for it. So printed that out. So that is, again, the Eyelet Cowl by Purl Soho. It's currently free. I don't know when you're going to watch this, but today it is currently free. And then this one is 2 at a time. I'm going to learn 2 new techniques, you guys. 2 at a time toe-up socks. So I've never made 2 at a time socks, so learning number 1. And then an afterthought heel. I have never made an afterthought heel. It's kind of scary to me, slightly terrifying, but I'm going to do it. So we're going to do the 2 at a time sock and then do the afterthought heel because I have a bunch. Now I have a lot of yarn, sock yarn. It sounded like I was bragging. I do have a lot of yarn, but it's been a couple years in the making, and I've got a lot of gifts of yarn, which I'm so grateful for. But I have a lot of sock yarn, and I have a lot of like self-striping sock and things of that nature because I purchased like bulk from people that were trying to get rid of their stash. So I purchased a lot of it. So I would really like to do the 2 at a time, and then I would also like to do like an afterthought heel with it. So that will be a really fun learning experience for me. This is a free pattern. The designer is Trish Campbell. These were both on Ravelry as well. That's where I found them, was Ravelry. I love Ravelry. I know some people have a hard time with Ravelry, and that really makes me sad because I quite enjoy it. The fact that there's so many patterns on there in one spot. I hope that I hope Ravelry makes themselves more accessible. However, I don't know about those that have issues with it, but for me, I find that I can use their dark version. They have like 2 versions of Ravelry, their layout, and I hit the dark. I think it's called dark. I don't know if that's right. But because I find my eyes are very sensitive. I look at a computer a lot during the day. My job is primarily at a computer. And so I look at the screen a lot, and I actually have to I have to darken my screen at work. I leave it that way all the time because I'll get basically headaches and like migraines almost from looking at my screen. I also do have issues with hormonal migraines, so I do have to really always have my screen darkened anyway. But Ravelry does have that like really brightness to their normal scheme, so I put their color scheme layout as, I think it's the dark version, and it helped me so much. So I don't know if that would help you, but that helped me so much. And it's basically a black background, and then the writing is all like white. I don't know if that would help you or not, but it definitely helped me. So there you go. But 2 great patterns, or look like great patterns. I've not done them yet, but I'm really excited because that is 2 at a time and Afterthought Heal. And just so you know, what's even better, this one by Trish Campbell is designed. I'm gonna read just a little line here because this is what really sold me on it, even though it was free. It's a basic introduction to toe-up knitting, sock knitting, designed with sock classes in mind. So it's designed for someone like trying to learn this. So that's perfect. She has tutorials. She has like technique. There we go. Techniques used. She has tutorial videos on YouTube, and it seems to be a very basic, straightforward pattern. I have done socks before, but I do a lot of heels or gussets and heel flaps and gussets. I can't speak, and those I find fit me really well. But I figured, why not try an Afterthought Heel? The primary reason I wanted to try an Afterthought Heel is after hearing Andrea Mowry, I think it was her last video or the one before that, and she's talking about how Afterthought Heels, if you wear through the heel, you can just literally replace the heel. And I was like, okay, now that is intriguing to me. I don't really wear through my heels that much, though. I'm more of a toe person. I'm a heavy toe walker, or the ball of my foot, I should say. It's the ball of my foot. That's usually, not my toe, but the ball of my foot is actually usually where I wear through my socks, if I wear through them, which I have worn through a few of my handmade socks, that's for sure. But I would say my next thinnest or worn portion is probably my heel, so I just want to try it. I hope they'll fit nicely, because if they will, I think that would be great. I also think it's a really good way to do gift knits, 2 at a time socks with Afterthought heels. I don't know. It just sounds intriguing to me. I want to learn it. I just want to learn it. So there you go. Add it to the list. So the video is starting to get long, but I did want to finish this up here with a little bit of a life update. So as I mentioned, December is like almost around the corner, you guys, because Thanksgiving's next week. Can you believe it? It's insane to me. It's absolutely insane to me. So what Thanksgiving around the corner means is December 1st is around the corner, which means Advents. So Advents, many Advents, you start opening them December 1st. I have my Advent, so Multifarious Nature Advent, you do not open December 1st. It is the first weekend in December that you will open it for this year's Advent. The prior Advents, you would open December 1st, but this year's I did sock sets, so they are for each Sunday during the season. So that would be the first weekend in December. But the 1st of December, my Woolberry Advent, I get to open. So I'm very excited about that. Her Advent, I got the, is the Winter Advent. I think it's an Advent. I think it's considered an Advent. Or it's her Winter Box. It was the Winter Box. It might not even be considered an Advent. Oh my word. But it's 4 skeins of yarn and a book, and then some other fun little goodies thrown in there too. So I'm very excited to open that. And that will start December 1st, so I'll get to do that. And it has a book, so it'll get me reading more. I have been reading, because I'm not going to get into details about this at the moment, because it's still a work in progress, and it is a huge thing going on in our life. But I have a lot of reading to do, and so I've been reading more. I give myself like 20 minutes a day, and I set a timer, And I find that's better for me because I get a little overwhelmed otherwise because I feel like I need to do everything. And you can do everything if you do a little of everything. And that gives me some self-control. So I'm trying to do some exercising and all that good stuff too. So I read for 20 minutes a day. So I'm excited when December 1st hits. I'm going to probably read for like 20 minutes a day. Maybe I'll have to read for 40 minutes a day. I'll probably, to be honest, I'll probably read like for 20 minutes during my lunch break. That way I can, because I have to read these other books too. It's like a part of a learning thing I'm doing right now. So much going on. Oh my goodness. All right. So that's exciting. Advents. Woohoo! I'm excited. I hope you are too. If you did get Advents for this year, I'd love to hear which Advent you purchased, or if you made your own. I'd love to hear about it. I always love hearing about handmade Advents. It is so much fun. I've seen many people do that. Or did you do like an Advent swap? I've seen that. I really wanted to do an Advent swap this year, but it didn't work out because most of the people I reached out to already swapped. So, oh well. Someday I will do an Advent swap. I'd love to do that. But anyway. Okay. And yeah, what else? What else did I want to chat about? Oh, Thanksgiving. See, I wrote it down. I'm glad I wrote it down. I would have forgotten. I totally would have forgotten again. It's Thanksgiving. As I mentioned earlier, I'd love to hear about your traditions for Thanksgiving. For us, our traditions. So, since we got married, actually since we were dating, really. Yeah, pretty much since we were dating. My husband and I, now we're married, but we kind of split our holidays. So I know everybody does it differently. The way we do it is we kind of rotate holidays. So this year we are going to spend Thanksgiving with my parents, and next year, and then like Christmas, we'll probably be spending that with Dan's parents or with his family here. So for those of you that don't know, our families don't live like right next to each other. My family lives north of Chicago currently, or at least my parents, I should say. And my brother lives in Arizona, and so we're like a little spread out now. But yeah, so we don't all get to see each other that often. But for things, for like holidays and such, we can go visit them, and we do have to do it separately because they don't live near each other. When they live closer, I hope we could do some holidays together, but we'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, so for Thanksgiving, we're going to be going to Chicagoland area, which will be fun. The goal is to go, I don't know if my husband's going to join me or not. It's a lot of standing, and he stands a lot for work, so his feet really start to hurt. It doesn't take much, but I would love if he could come, but we'll see. But our goal is to go to the Christkindl market in Chicago. It is a little German market. It's so cute. They have like little gingerbread house stalls, and there's all kinds of vendors. They sell all kinds of fun goods. I got some really nice alpaca mittens there years ago, and I received some alpaca socks that my mom got from there for me for Christmas one year, which I absolutely loved those socks. They're so great. I still have them. I need to mend them because I kind of wore through them a little bit, but definitely worth mending because they're so cozy, warm, and soft. And it's just really fun. And then they usually have the spiced wine, which I unfortunately can no longer partake in for dietary reasons. I am not partaking in alcohol anymore, which is a bit of a bummer because I do always enjoy that during the holiday season. It's really fun. That's okay. That's just what goes on these days in life. Anyway, but we get a little souvenir mug usually. They do have a spiced hot cider, I think, and that is alcohol free. So I'll probably partake in that. if we're able to go, which I really hope we can, because I really miss that. I haven't gone the past couple years because it just never worked out. Any year that we were there, my sister wasn't able to come because she had to work. She works retail, and so she wasn't able to come, which, I mean, it doesn't mean we can't go, but it's really a bummer if she can't come because it's such a tradition. That tradition started with myself, my mother, and my sister. And once, we all kind of started growing our ways. Like, I moved to Michigan, and I would go when I'd come home. But once I got married or started dating Zian, there were certain Thanksgivings we were here in Michigan instead of going to Illinois. So I haven't gotten to go in probably a good 4 years or so to, might have been 5 years. Oh my gosh, is it 5 years? Hannah knows. My sister knows. She'll know. I swear it's been like 4 or 5 years since we've gone, which is sad because it's so much fun. Might be 4 years, but still, it's very sad. So it's a lot of fun. The food's really good. I usually always get yummy food there, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So if you've never gone to the Christian Kindle Market, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. So that's the one in Chicago that I've gone to. And then there is actually going to be one in Michigan in Grand Rapids starting this year, which goes through the holiday season. I don't know if I'll be going to the one in Grand Rapids. I kind of want to go just to see what it's about, how it compares to the Chicago one. But yeah, who knows? I hope it's as fun as the Chicago one, just because when my parents move, because they're going to be moving to Michigan the coming year here, and maybe my sister, Hannah, you should move to Michigan. I don't know if she's going to watch this or not. But yeah, I hope it's as nice, because I think it would be a wonderful tradition here in this area for people to go to, because the one in Illinois is so much fun. I really enjoy it. The food is so good. The people are fun. And everything's great. It's just so much fun. So anyway, there you go. That's one of our Thanksgiving traditions. And other Thanksgiving traditions, we make a lot of food. My family is very much like probably every other family with Thanksgiving. We make a lot of food. One tradition that my mom has taught me is making homemade cranberry sauce. It's not hard, and it is so good. So yeah, that is one tradition that we do have, is homemade cranberry sauce. We do, of course, turkey, pumpkin pie, and usually pecan pie is one of the other good ones. That is one of my favorites. I do like pecan pie a lot, but I also like pumpkin pie. You can't go wrong. And then the other tradition that we tend to do, which we'll see if I can do it again this year. It's a lot of work, but making homemade rolls. My uncle actually started that years ago when I was a kid. My uncle used to make homemade rolls, and I mean from scratch. So darn good. It takes hours to make, but it's so good. It's totally worth it if you have the time to make homemade rolls. Oh my gosh, delicious. So my uncle, he actually started that tradition, and then they kind of stopped coming to Thanksgiving. They lived far away, so it was a lot. And they stopped coming, and so I just kept making it. Like, I just kept doing it, and then eventually one of my brothers and I made the rolls. That was kind of our thing. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I think I have. I don't know if I have, but I think I have. But one of my brothers, unfortunately, in 2014 passed away very suddenly, unexpectedly. It's very tragic. And that is part of the reason why the holidays are a hard time for myself and my family. So he used to make those rolls with me. So it's one of those things I don't get really to do that often, because it is a lot of work, but it is it's so worth it. It tastes so darn good, and it's, I don't know, it's really special. So I would like to do that again. We'll see. We'll see if I have it in me to make them this year. We'll see. I would like to, but anyway, yes. I'm trying not to get emotional. Oh my gosh. It's the holidays, I tell you. It's the good and bad of it. Holidays are a wonderful time to spend with family. That's one of my favorite traditions about the holidays, actually, is spending time with family. But I know many, like myself, but many others have lost people in their life, and it really makes the holidays hard because that's the time you spend with loved ones usually. And so if you're going through a hard time, you've lost people in your life that were important to you, are important to you, I'm thinking of you, that's for sure. And it's just hard. It's very hard. And especially those of you also that are trying to grow your family, it is extremely difficult. And it's one of those things that nobody talks about. Nobody seems to talk about it. And unfortunately, it's extremely common. So if you're going through that season of your life as well, I am also thinking of you in that as well, because, well, unfortunately, we are going through that season in our life as well. So lots of love to you all, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're here in the United States, and wonderful holiday season. And I hope that we can together try to focus on the positive, even if it's the tiniest thing. And I'm trying to remember, there was a quote. I was actually going at work. I kind of go through conference rooms at the end of the day to try to make sure things are pulled together and everything. And I went into this one conference room and someone had posted, just wrote on the whiteboard, and I'm trying to remember the quote, exactly what it said. But it was something along the lines of, smile, life is good. And it's one of those things that when I read it, I was like, I just needed to hear that in that moment. I needed to read that in that moment, because life can be hard. Life can be very hard and almost on the verge of cruel and painful, but we are alive, right? We are one of the lucky few if we are alive. We have life, we have breath, and we get to hopefully do something we enjoy, like knitting or crocheting, or just making, any kind of making. I hope that we get to do that, right? And if we are able to do that, life is good. So I want to leave you with that. Life is good. So smile, life is good. And I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I will not be recording next week. I'm pretty sure I won't be. If I lose my mind and record on Wednesday, then I will record and post something. But I don't think I'm going to be able to, because we're going to be traveling Wednesday. So I probably won't be able to chat with you guys until after the holiday. So I hope you have a wonderful, safe holiday if you are traveling. And I will chat with you soon. Take care. Bye.